Dasa Vrindavanam Bande Krishna Dasa Prabhum Tata Chanavatar Chaitanya Lila Vistar Karino Nityananda Parabja Karuna Dena Bushito Vyakta Chano Budachincho Vavande Vyasarupino Shri Guru Gandharva Govindascha Ganai Saha Jayanti Patakas Ch.Ch Sarvesham Gurunartino. So we are continuing this morning with our hearing of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And these last few days we've been reading through Rupa Shiksha, Mahaprabhu's instructions to Srila Rupa Goswami. And yesterday, primarily, we were here, yesterday and the day before, we were hearing about the practice of devotion in relation to the negative side. We were establishing what devotion is not. This is of great importance. Before we can go to understand what it is, of course we will have some idea of what it is, but we must also have a very clear idea of what it is not. Otherwise, when we go to try to understand or apply higher teachings, higher practice, then we will be confused. We will mix A for B, B for A. And Srila Sridhar Maharishi commented about Srila Saraswati Thakur that he spent something like 90% of his energy to establish what Krishna consciousness is not. He spent so many gallons of blood, he said, to establish what it is not. So this is very, very important, and we've been hearing along these lines the last 2 days or so. The importance of avoiding Vaishnava aparad, the importance of avoiding anarthas, establishing pure devotion is free from the tendencies for selfish enjoyment, as well as renunciation. And now we are going to hear what it is. Jai Shri Gurudev. Now we're going to hear now that has been clarified what it is not, and there can be some higher, description now of what it is. So the two will not become mixed up. So we will continue. Jai Shri Gurudev. Sadan Bhakti hoite hoy, rati rao doy, rati gada hoile tar, prema nama koi. By regularly rendering devotional service, one gradually becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When that attachment is intensified, it becomes love of Godhead. Prema vriddhi kramenam snehamana pranoy, raga anuragbhav mahabhava hoy. The basic aspects of prema, when gradually increasing to different states, are affection, abhorrence, love, attachment, further attachment, ecstasy, and great ecstasy. Ch.Ch bijikurasa gudakandasar, sharkada siktamichadi uttamichadiyar. The gradual development of prema may be compared to different states of sugar. First there is the seed of the sugar cane, then sugar cane, and then the juice extracted from the cane. When this juice is boiled, it forms liquid molasses, then solid molasses, then sugar, candy, rock candy, and finally lozenges. Ye sab Krishna bhakti rase sthai bhave mile jadi vibhav anubhav. All these stages combined are called sthayi bhav, or continuous love of Godhead in devotional service. In addition to these stages, there are vibhav and anubhav. Sattvika vyabhichari bhave milane Krishna bhakti rasa hoy amrita swadane. When the higher standard of ecstatic love is mixed with the symptoms of sattvika and vyabhichari, The devotee relishes the transcendental bliss of loving Krishna in a variety of nectarian tastes. Ch.Ch dadi sita grita maricha karpur milanera salahoy amrita madur. These tastes are like a combination of yogurt, sugar candy, ghee, black pepper, and camphor, and are as palatable as sweet nectar. Bhakta bererati bed pancha parakar shantarati dasyarati sakyarati vatsalyarati madhurati e pancha vibhed rati bede Krishna bhakti rase pancha bed. According to the devotee, attachment falls within the 5 categories of Shantarati, Dasyarati, Sakyarati, Vatsalyarati, and Madhurarati. These 5 categories arise from devotees' different attachments to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental mellows derived from devotional service are also of 5 varieties. Shantadasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhura Rasanam Krishna Bhakti Rasamaje Pancha Pradhan. The chief transcendental mellows experienced with the Supreme Personality of Godhead are 5: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhur. Hasyodbhutastatab. Oh, this is a quotation. Okay, well, not exactly quotation, but it appears later in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's a Sanskrit verse. Hasyodbhutastatavira karuno roja ityapi bayanaka sabibatsa iti gonascha saptada. Beside the 5 direct mellows, there are 7 indirect mellows, known as laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, disaster, and fear. Hasyad budvira karuna roja bibatsa bhoy panchavida bhakti guna saptadasa hoy. In addition to the 5 direct mellows, there are 7 indirect mellows, known as laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, disaster, and fear. Pancharasastai vyapi rohe bhakta mane sapta gona agantuka paye karane. The 5 direct transcendental mellows of devotion are permanently situated in the heart of the devotee, whereas the 7 indirect emotions appear suddenly under certain conditions and appear more powerful. Shanta bhakta navayogenja sanakadihar dasya bhava bhakta sarvatra seva kapar. Examples of Shanta bhaktas are the 9 yogendras and the 4 kumaras. Examples of devotees in Dasya bhakti are innumerable, for such devotees exist everywhere. Sakya bhakta shidamadi pore bimarjun vatsalya bhakta mata pita jata guru jan. In Vrindavan, examples of devotees in fraternity, Sakya ras, are Sridham and Sudama. In Dwarka, the Lord's friends are Bhima and Arjuna. In Vrindavan, the devotees in parental love, Vatsalya ras, are Mother Jashoda and Father Nanda Maharaj. And in Dwarka, the Lord's parents are Vasudeva and Devaki. There are also superior persons who are devotees in parental love. Madhur rase bhakta mukya braje gopi gan mahishi gan lakshmi gan asankhya ganan. The chief devotees in conjugal love are the gopis in Vrindavan, the queens in Dwarka, and the goddesses of fortune in Vaikuntha. These devotees are innumerable. Puna Krishna rati hoy duito prakar aishwarja gyan mishra kevala bedar. Attachment for Krishna is divided into 2 categories. One is attachment with awe and reverence, and the other is pure attachment without reverence. Gokule kevalati aishwarja gyanahin Puridvaye Vaikuntaje Aishwarja Pravin. Pure attachment without reverence is found in Gokul, Vrindavan. Attachment in which awe and reverence are prominent is found in the two cities, Mathura and Dwarka, and in Vaikunta. Aishwarja Gyan Pradanye Sankuchita Priti Dekyana Mane Aishwarja Kevala Hariti. When opulence is very prominent, love of Godhead is somewhat crippled. According to Kevala devotion, however, even though the devotee sees the unlimited potency of Krishna, he considers himself equal to him. So, within the realm of pure devotion, these two divisions. Aishwarja, one type of devotion which is pervaded by this mood of Aishwarja, appreciation for the Lord's godly nature. So there is worship there with some reverence, some awe. And then what is referred to here, Kevala. Kevala means exclusive. Kevala Bhakti. Right? There it is only loving exchange, not hampered by consciousness of Aishwarja, not hampered by Aishwarja Gyan, consciousness of the Lord's divinity. So even though they may see that in Krishna sometimes, that does not disturb them. Does not interfere with their Kevala Bhakti. Or sometimes we hear momentarily, it may come, but it will pass. Like in the case of Mother Jashoda when she sees all the universes in Krishna's mouth. Then briefly she's thinking, what is this? Who is this boy? I have heard some stories about him. But then as Srila Maharaj tells it, then a cat meows and Krishna fearfully clutches hold of his mother. Then she thinks, oh, he is my own boy. He is my own boy. And there's different examples given. Okay, no, it's here actually. I was thinking it was earlier, but we'll hear it. Shanta dasya rasya aishwarja kahaudipan vatsalya sakya madhureto kore sankochan. On the transcendental platform of neutrality and service, sometimes the opulence of the Lord is prominent. So Shanta and Dasya, there's still some distance there. There's not the intimacy that you find in the other relationships. But in the transcendental mellows of fraternal, parental, and conjugal love, so Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhur, the opulence is minimized. Vasudev Devaki Krishna Charana Vandilo Aishwarja Gyane Duharmane Boi Hoilo. When Krishna offered prayers at the lotus feet of his mother and father, Vasudeva and Devaki, they both felt awe, reverence, and fear due to knowledge of his opulences. Devaki Vasudevascha Vigyaya Jagad Ishvaro Krita Samvandano Putro Sasvajate Nashankito. When Devaki and Vasudeva understood that their two sons, Krishna and Balaram, who had paid obeisances to them, were the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they became fearful and did not embrace them. Purport. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam. This verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam describes what happened just after the killing of Kamsa by Krishna and Balaram. Vasudeva and Devaki saw their son kill the powerful demon Kamsa, and after this they were immediately released from their shackles. Balaram and Krishna then offered respects to Devaki and Vasudeva. Both the father and the mother wanted to embrace their sons, but they understood that Krishna and Balaram were the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they therefore hesitated to embrace them. Their parental love for Krishna and Balaram was therefore hampered and decreased by awe and reverence. Krishna Vishwarupe Rupa Deki Arjuner Hoilo Bhoy Sakya Bhave Dashta Kama Pai Koriya Vinoy. When Krishna manifested his universal form, Arjuna became reverent and fearful, and he begged forgiveness for his past impudence toward Krishna as a friend. And we have quotation here from Gita, chapter 11. Saketi matva prasabam yaruktam, he Krishna, he Yadava, he Saketi, ajanata mahimanam tavedam, maya pramadat pranayena vapi, yachava hasartam asotkritosi, vihada shayasana bhojaneshu, ekota vapyachutta tat samaksham, tat kshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. Thinking of you as my friend. So this is chapter 11, Gita. You've both been through Gita. Have you been through Gita?
I haven't read the last 2 chapters or something.
Okay, you've been through the first 16. Oh, that's pretty good. I was thinking we should go there. But Gita, Bhagavad Gita, at some point. We've got time. When we finish. What's that?
We've never had anyone go through it with us.
Okay. Yeah, it would be good to go through. Maybe when we finish one of the books we're going through. So this is chapter 11. Krishna reveals this great universal form, showing that all the worlds are within him, all the devas, all of humankind, and everyone, everything in existence is within him. And it is like an illusory form, actually. It is something to impress persons of a lower faith, really. But Arjuna, he had some hankering to see this form, and so he asked Krishna. And then after Krishna showed it to him, then Arjuna had some regret. This is a very fearful form, Krishna. And then in seeing, because he's accustomed to seeing Krishna as his buddy, as his close, intimate friend. So when he saw Krishna as the Supreme Lord, then he felt some fear, and also some, thinking back on his previous intimate exchanges, he felt, oh, that was inappropriate, how I behaved with him. And so then he's like offering some apology here. So this is used as an example. And of course, where we are here and now, it is offensive, really, to make these types of distinctions. But Kaviraj Goswami, he is, for the sake of understanding different qualities of rasa, he's presenting this here. So carefully we're hearing these things, and it's not for us to make some judgment or analysis. But he's pointing out that in Vrindavan this would not be possible. The Kevala Bhakti, the mood of exclusive devotion is so strong in Vrindavan that even if one sees Krishna's opulent aspect, it does not interfere with their intimacy with him. But Arjuna, he is more associated with Dwaraka, Krishna. Has a different relationship, and so when he sees that, he's that puts some check on their intimacy, and so he's, to the extent that he's apologizing. Also, Devaki and Vasudeva, who are Krishna's parents in Mathura, when they consider their son as being the Supreme Lord, then they feel they cannot embrace him. But in Vrindavan, this never happens. That mood of love is so strong, it eclipses everything else. So this is Arjuna's prayer. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you. O Krishna, O Jadav, O my friends, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat and ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. But you see, Krishna relishes that. With his pure devotees, he relishes that. For persons who are attached to power, then they will consider that to be disrespectful. They want to be honored. They want to be treated with respect. And if someone behaves too intimately with them, then they are unhappy. They are disturbed. But for those who actually have all power, Krishna has all power, then he doesn't need that. He gets enough respect. He doesn't need it. So he relishes the opposite. He relishes disrespect, intimacy, and affection. There's one story, I'm trying to remember the details of it. Srila Sri Maharaj tells it somewhere. But there was one sage who wanted to test who is the highest, Brahma, Shiva, or Vishnu. And so he went to each of them and behaved in some disrespectful way with them to see how they would respond. And I can't remember exactly what he did with Brahma and Shiva, but he did something to dishonor them. And they were both, to different degrees, disturbed by that. And then finally he went to Vishnu and he kicked him on the chest. And Vishnu's response was to give an order that his feet be massaged. I can't remember who it was. Some sage. So demonstrating, like, those who actually have power, they don't need it to be acknowledged. They're comfortable with who they are. They don't need some big proclamation. It's only when you have this insecurity, like in the case of Lord Indra, right? When he's angry because the Brajabasis are not making their usual offerings to him. And so he has a temper tantrum, and he orders for a terrible storm to be inflicted upon the residents of Vrindavan. It's in that, insecurity that one feels the need for power and acknowledgement. But for someone who has that, they don't need that. They're very comfortable with who they are and what they have. And so Krishna doesn't need that. He only wants, he knows he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like, he's authentically the Supreme Controller and can authentically do anything that he wants. So he doesn't need it to be acknowledged by anybody. So he's only interested in loving dealings. And with his friends, he doesn't want them to be falling over themselves to offer their honor to him. He wants intimacy and affection. So it is interesting that higher type of devotion is expressed in an apparently disrespectful way. And of course, not that we will rush into all these things, otherwise we'll become sahajas. who understand what our position is here and now. Goswami Maharaj, he told how when he visited Vrindavan once in a very early period, one of his very early visits, he attended the evening arati in one temple, and he was struck because it was very short, very, very short, or maybe 5 minutes or something, very short arati. And then afterwards, one of the members there, one of the servitors there, invited him to come for the morning arati. And Goswami Maharaj said, "Is the morning arati a little longer than the evening arati?" And the man told him, "Oh, we don't trouble the Lord with so much puja. We just worship Him in pure love." And then Goswami Maharaj, he just come from Navadip, spending time with Sri Maharaj, and he thought to himself, this doesn't quite add up. He thought, we've heard Mahaprabhu has said, na prema gandosti drapi me haro, that Mahaprabhu himself has said, I don't have a drop of love. So how is it possible that this gentleman here can say, oh, we just worship Krishna with pure love? Like, how can he think that he has pure love? And so he made some comment like that. Well, Mahaprabhu, he said this. And then that man, he said, oh, Lord Chaitanya, that is the beginning stage. Then he could understand that this guy is totally bogus. So that's another important point. That type of relationship with the Lord, it's not something that we will calculate or that we will begin ourselves out of our own initiative. It is something that will irresistibly take place. We will irresistibly be drawn to this higher type of devotion. It's not a decision that we'll make, no. But rather the sincere practitioner will always feel that I'm not qualified for that. I prefer to adhere to a lower type of service. But when Krishna wants to pull that person, when he forcefully gives that inspiration in the heart, then they cannot help themselves. Okay. Krishna Jadev, we hear a few more examples here. Krishna Jadev Rukmini re koila parihas, Krishna Chadi Benjani Rukminir hoilotras. Although Krishna was joking with Queen Rukmini, she was thinking that he was going to give up her company, and she was therefore shocked. Tasya suduka boishoka vinashta buddhe hastat shlatar valayato vyajanam papata dehascha viklavadiya sahasaiva muyam rambeva vata vihata pravikirya keshan. While Krishna was joking with Rukmini in Dwarka, she was full of distress, fear, and lamentation. She had also lost her intelligence. She dropped her hand bangles and the fan she was using to fan the Lord. Her hair became disarrayed, and she fainted and fell suddenly, appearing like a banana tree knocked down by high winds. Purport. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam refers to Krishna speaking to Rukmini in his bedroom. Just to test her sincerity, he began to joke with her, presenting himself as poor, incapable, and unfit to be her lover. Not understanding that he was joking, he was saying, there's more detail elsewhere, something like, oh, you shouldn't have married me, this other person's better for you, like that. Not understanding that he was joking, Rukmini took him seriously and thought that he wanted to leave her company. This misunderstanding made her very unhappy, and her whole body was affected. Her fan and bangles fell to the floor, and she also fell down like a banana tree knocked down by high winds. So whereas in Vrindavan, this type of joking would be common, and the gopis, they would also joke with Krishna like that, And in Dwarka, there's more a prevalence of Aishwarya Gyan, and so there's this fear there. Kevala Shuddha Prem Aishwarja na jane Aishwarja dekileo nija sambandha semane. In the stage of Kevala, unalloyed devotion, a devotee does not consider the unlimited opulences of Krishna, even though he experiences it. He takes seriously only his own relationship with Krishna. And now we have another quotation from Bhagavatam. Chaya chopa nishadbhischa sankhya yogaischa sattvatai upagiyamana mahatmyam harim samanyatatmajam. When Mother Jashoda saw all the universes within Krishna's mouth, she was astonished for the time being. The Lord is worshipped like Indra and other demigods by the followers of the 3 Vedas who offer him sacrifices. He is worshipped as impersonal Brahman by saintly persons who understand his greatness through studying the Upanishads, as the Purusha by great philosophers who analytically study the universe, as the all-pervading Supersoul by great yogis, and as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees. Nevertheless, Mother Jashoda considered the Lord her own son. Another quotation here from Bhagavatam. Tam matvatmajam avyaktam marchalingam adhokshajam gopi kolu kale damna babanda prakritam yata. Although Krishna is beyond sense perception and is unmanifest to human beings, he takes up the guise of a human being with a material body. Thus Mother Jashoda thought him to be her son, and she bound Lord Krishna with a rope to a wooden mortar, as if he were an ordinary child. Uvaha Krishno Bhagavan Shridamanam Parajita Rishabham Vajrasenastu Pralambo Rohini Sutam. When Krishna was defeated by Sridama, he had to carry him on his shoulders. Similarly, Vajrasen carried Rishabh, and Pralamba carried Balaram, the son of Rohini. Sachamene tadatmanam vadishtam sarvayoshitam hitva gopi kamayana mammaso bhajate priya tato gatva vanodesham dripta keshavam abravit naparayeham chalitam nayamam yachate mana evam ukta priyam aha skandam aduyatam iti tataschantar dade Krishna salvador Anvatapyata. My dear most Krishna, you are worshipping me and giving up the company of all the other gopis who wanted to enjoy themselves with you. Thinking like this, Srimati Radharani considered herself Krishna's most beloved gopi. She had become proud and had left the Rasa Leela with Krishna. In the deep forest, she said, "My dear Krishna, I cannot walk anymore. You can take me wherever you like." When Srimati Radharani petitioned Krishna in this way, Krishna said, "Just get up on my shoulders." As soon as Srimati Radharani began to do so, he disappeared. Srimati Radharani then began to grieve over her request and Krishna's disappearance. Pati sutanvaya brarcha Vandavan ati vilangya te Antyachutagataha Gatividas Tavodgita Mohita Kitava Yoshita Kastyajan Nishi. Dear Krishna, we gopis have neglected the order of our husbands, sons, family, brothers, and friends, and have left their company to come to you. You know everything about our desires. We have come only because we are attracted by the supreme music of your flute. But you are a great cheater, for who else would give up the company of young girls like us in the dead of night? Purport. This verse, quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, describes how the gopis went to the forest for Krishna's enjoyment in the dead of night. The gopis approached Krishna to enjoy themselves with him in the rasa dance. Krishna knew this very well, but he was superficially trying to avoid them. He is therefore addressed by the gopis as Kitava, a great cheater, because he first attracted them to come dance with him. And yet when they actually came, neglecting the orders of their friends and relatives, he tried to avoid them by giving them so-called good instructions. These cunning instructions were too much for the gopis to tolerate. They therefore had a right to address Krishna as Kitava, a great cheater. They were all young girls and they had come to him to be enjoyed. How could he avoid them? The gopis therefore expressed great disappointment in this verse. They came voluntarily, but Krishna was so cunning that he wanted to avoid their company. The gopis' lamentation was certainly very appropriate, and in this way Krishna tested their sincerity. Shantarase sarupudye Krishnaika nishtata Shamoman nishtata buddhaiti shrimukagata. When one is fully attached to Krishna's lotus feet, one attains the shamatha stage. The word shamatha is derived from the word shama. Therefore, shantaras, the position of neutrality, means fully attached to the lotus feet of Krishna. This is the verdict from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. This stage is called self-realization. And then there's a verse here from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Shamo man nishtata buddher iti shri bhagavadvacha tan nishta durgata buddher etam shanta datim vina. These are the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one's intelligence is fully attached to my lotus feet, but one does not render practical service, one has attained the stage called Shantarati or Shama. Without Shantarati, attachment to Krishna is very difficult to achieve. I think this is a good place to stop. Then there's some discussion, progressive discussion of the individual rasas. So I think we can continue with that tomorrow. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Is it your turn to sing?
Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Giri Hari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Giri Hari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Hare